And we had to do many painful reforms. And believe me, here I'm not advising anybody to do and copy all those reforms that I'm talking about. I'm just saying that this is the story that we have lived through. And this is the success story that we have, and you may possibly have very similar success story. We had to fire a lot of people. I personally have fired, I don't know how many people in the energy sector when we started. For example, we fired every single traffic policeman in Georgia in one day. And traffic was much better. I am being very honest here. I'm not advising, one more time I would like to underline, I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying that it's fine to do that. But in our case, it was so bad. It was so bad that population was actually cheering when they heard that every single traffic policeman was fired. 3 months, no traffic policeman, no accidents increase, no nothing, no problems. Right now, we have much better traffic police with different agenda, absolutely. So, in terms of when I said, can I have next slide, please? When I said about doing business reforms, I just want to show you one slide, and this is slide comparing Nigeria to Georgia in 4 parameters. I mean, if you decide today to start a business, how long, according to the World Bank, by the way, these are not my figures, according to the World Bank, if you don't pay bribe to anybody, most likely, how many days it will take you to start a business, to get a construction permit, if you want to construct a small warehouse just outside of Lagos, that's how it's, by the way, measured. If you want to get electricity connection, and if you want to get registration of your property. And these are the number of days which are compared. And by the way, Georgia was very close to these figures. Number of days, for example, to start a business in Nigeria is 28. In Georgia is 2. To get a construction permit in Nigeria, it's 116 days. You need to get a construction permit, and you have to have 8 different procedures. In Georgia, it's 68 days, and 17 different procedures in Nigeria, 8 procedures in Georgia. In order for you to get an electricity, you need 260 days. That's to get electricity to your small warehouse. In Georgia, it's 71 days. And to register a property, in Nigeria, you need 13 different transactions and papers. In Georgia, you need only 1. And you need 77 days in Nigeria. In Georgia, you need only 1. 1 day. We are the top of the world in that, by the way, in this parameter. So if you decide to start a warehouse business in Lagos now, it will take you 1 year and 4 months to get the papers and to get the electricity to your place. I'm not talking about plus construction of this place. Most likely take you much longer. That's how World Bank calculates it. In Georgia, it's 3 to 4 months. So imagine what are the efficiency problems of the business environment and how much it can be improved. What are the possibilities of this country to go forward much faster? Another topic that I would like to mention is in the beginning I said it's a business environment, it's public services. As I've mentioned a couple of examples, we did many public service reforms, and I think one of them tops them all, and this is public service hall. It's one place where more than 300 government services are given to public. Almost any service that you can think of can be obtained there. Registering property, getting a passport, getting an ID, registering marriage, you name it. Almost anything that a citizen or a business, starting a business, everything can be done in one place. It's a front office of the government. Of course, the actual work is done in the back offices, and the actual passport is printed by Ministry of Justice, but the interaction with the customer is there. And special unit is created, which is service-oriented unit, which actually has created totally different environment in Georgia. It was one of the most popular reforms that we did, and this is something that I would advise any government to do. By the way, also the biggest opposition we received was from our own ministers, because the ministers thought that they would lose their front offices, they would lose their powers. It's not right. In the end, everybody was happy, but we had a huge internal struggle in order to continue to finish with that. Just to finalize my presentation, just one more slide. It's public finances. And it's public finances because I think we made a significant quantum leap in public finances as well. We had the 25% of capital expenditure in our budget, which is a huge number, which was one of the drivers of the economy. We had a one budget principle, which means that there was no earmarking of any expenditure, of any income in the budget. And we had created special formulas, special motivation formulas. And one example that I want to bring here is education. And education, in the past, we were giving the money to all schools, and schools directors would decide how they would spend it. We made a change, we gave money to students, so schools started to compete against each other. We started giving new bonuses to directors based on university exams. The worst directors would get fired, the best directors would get bonuses. So this type of motivational financial schemes of the public finance actually created a new Georgia and a new economic drive of the country. So, just to finish my presentation, there are three things that I would like to underline. Great reformers always outperform others. Every situation is different, but DNA is very similar. Best reforms are if they are radical, if they are deep, and if they are fast. The last time I made similar presentation to a head of quite a big country, he asked me, so how big is your country? I said, well, it's not a big country. So it will not work in our country. No, I said, you tell me one reason why any of these reforms will not work. So why not? You tell me the reasons why these reforms cannot work in Nigeria. It's a big country, much bigger than my country, but believe me, these reforms can be successful in most of the countries. Thank you very much.